Now let's speak to, let's get some more insight as we speak to security expert Abuh Adams, who joins us live for more on this development. Talk to us about how important this report on terrorism financing is and how exactly it's expected to help government's effort in its onslaught against terrorism.
Well, thank you very much. I think the importance of the report is mostly to security agencies who have the responsibility of doing the needful, particularly for all those that have been identified. We are talking about financial institutions, individuals, and their modus operandi, whichever way it is. So to them, it is, I think, a pathway to what they are supposed to do further. But if you ask me again, you know that for quite some time, we are also aware of some of these terrorist financiers that have been announced in the past. The only thing that we have not succeeded in doing is in identifying the individual. For instance, if there is a financial institution, let those know who they are, who are the board, and then deal with them according to the law. This will give us more confidence. But again, it's also necessary for policy formulation. And again, for those in the theater of war, they will determine their modus operandi for further intelligence and counter-insurgency operations. So it is very, very important. Again, the citizens really have the knowledge of what is going on, and they should be able to identify the areas that they will be useful for the purposes of prosecuting the war.
Indeed. The alleged involvement of foreign NGOs is rather shocking. How do you expect government to respond without completely halting the operation of genuine organizations, providing some real help and assistance to affected communities?
Once again, it will not be in the interest of prosecuting the war and our relationship with the international community to kind of make accusation, that kind of blanket accusation. Identify those and let's see how we can isolate them. And then those we can work with, we can still work with them. But there is no doubt that terrorist organizations try to infiltrate various organizations. Even the fighting forces of other nations, nations, are infiltrated by them. So it's not something that is just come to us as a surprise. How we deal with it is what is important. I think the earlier we identify them, isolate them, prosecute those we can prosecute, and then move forward.
The report also says the use of bank accounts in the movement of terrorism fund has featured prominently in both intelligence and investigations related to terrorism financing. One would think that it makes it easy to track if they now use bank accounts and if they use online banking and things like that. If we can't track this transaction, how will mopping up cash through federal government's effort in redesigning the Naira, for instance, help in tackling, terrorism financing?
Well, but the truth of the matter is that in cyber operations, there are some financial transactions that are very, very, very difficult to track and identify the perpetrators. No doubt about that. Even our local Yahoo boys, there are some accounts they will open, transfer money into it, moving into another one. You will find it very difficult to identify those behind them. But that is not to say that some have not been identified. But like the DG said, the DG DSS said in one of his recent presentation, they have now resorted into receiving cash mostly, rather than the kind of the ones we know before, and then are making that their main source of financing these days, which is very, very difficult, to breach. But with what intelligence is doing, and as we move on, I think we'll be able to make progress in using that particular, in countering that particular modus operandi of the bandits.
Perhaps getting some high-profile arrests will also help to reinstate citizens' confidence in government.
Thank you.
And
But
to see that
it's not even just
willpower.
arrest. I think we should prosecute those that we have identified.
Absolutely.
Like I said earlier, if you don't prosecute, people will not have confidence in what you are doing. So the earlier we identify, it is not enough for us to, bring out these people are involved. Who are those people that we have identified? Bring them to court. Let the world see. And this will help us in getting more support from the citizens in prosecuting the war.
Security expert Abuh, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on the news tonight.
It's my pleasure to be with you this evening. Thank you very much.